Instagram is still connecting. I have been not able to keep food down for like since when? Since Thursday or Friday? Friday. So I'm eating strawberries because that's the only thing that like seems to work for my body, which is like no food. So I'm just eating a lot of strawberries. I don't fucking know at this point what to do. Does yes, Instagram is live now too. How are you?
I'm fine. How about yourself?
I have a I have a dopamine come down because yesterday I made a lot of fucking money, and then you get like this rush. I get like really high.
Right.
So today's the come down.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, but I liked it. I want it again.
Yeah. Well, you'll go get it again.
But I want it now.
How very
I want it.
American.
I want it now. Mm. What are you up to? I have not been online in the online world at all, so I have no idea what the world is doing.
World is worlding. I mean, there's still a war.
We're
Gas
still
prices are,
warring. Are we
yeah, we're
still
still warring.
warring?
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
okay.
still warring, and gas prices are insane, and people are wondering what's going to happen. So
$11 in California, in LA.
I believe it. I believe there's probably places in LA that are pretty bad. Not all of them,
It,
but
it's $6 for us here.
yeah, it's 5 here.
In Arizona?
We're usually a dollar behind California.
Really?
Yeah, that's usually about it. So
Damn.
it's under 5. It's like 4. It depends on where you go. 4.98. Whatever. But it's 5.
Conspiracy theory.
Hmm.
Gas prices go up. They've been trying to pass the bill where you're going to be charged per mile. So you're going to be taxed
Oh,
on top of the road tax, you're going to be taxed per mile, which means that they will have to not only constantly like there'll be obviously like some version of a tracker in your car.
yeah.
Um
They're already
so they
doing that
will,
with insurance companies, but yeah.
right. Oh, with insurance, like for if you drive the right speed.
Speed, and they track your odometer. So they see exactly how many miles you drive, and then based on that, they can adjust. For them, it's to adjust the premium. Because if you drive more, your premiums are higher than if you drive less. So
And then they're also trying to well, obviously then gas is going up in general. And then you can charge your Tesla in certain places because there's not enough electricity. So where's this going?
15-minute cities, right? That's what it is. That's where it's going. Everybody has to live in proximity to
In a
everything. And
dome.
yeah, I don't know. I don't understand that part. Like I don't see the appeal. Like there's too many people who don't like living like that. You know, like
Well, aside from that, like I'm so confused about because like cities are by virtue of existing, cities are not only non-sustainable, they cannot exist on their own.
right.
So I'm like super confused.
Yeah,
How this
cities
is like
are
even theoretically gonna work.
yeah, cities are like Hong Kong, right? Because Hong Kong has all of that, like they're a service-oriented country with no natural resources,
Mhm.
so they are a complete import of everything. So,
But
but
like
they
Las Vegas. Like
right,
right. Yeah.
right. So you do this, you do all the white collar work in these cities, ostensibly, but you rely on the rural area to bring in all of the stuff like your food and your water, your everything, like all your resources, because you don't have them where you are. Like that's what I mean. It's funny how people brag about Los Angeles, right? Because they're like, oh, California in general is one of the biggest economies. It's like, of course it is, because it has all of the imports coming in from the east to bring in whatever. It has a lot of natural resources of its own, and it's agriculture. It's a good agricultural
California
system.
itself is the largest agricultural state of all,
It is. It
which
is.
I had no idea, by the way.
Yeah,
But
it is. And this is them, and they sabotage it all the time, but they still manage to come out on top. And then they have ports coming in, right? So it's like taking credit for a port. Like that you happen, like there happens to be this
Dubai does it.
geological accident that you landed on. You're suddenly that's like taking credit for your race. You're like like you just happen to be there. Like it's not because Gavin Newsom developed a port, right?
Right.
It's not because your governor did it, or the government did anything, or
Dubai did. Yeah.
right. Please, like you're making the most of where you are, you know. But it's whatever. I mean, I don't know. I don't think imposing the city life on everybody is the answer.
I don't think imposing the city life on anybody is the answer.
Right.
What a fucking terrifying life.
I know. It's like it's a place you want to visit. It's not a place, you know, it's kind of like the party house. You want to visit, but you don't want to live there, right? I will catch you on Friday, but my ass is out at midnight, you know.
And the edge of a city is great.
That's still good. Yeah, like a suburb, or, you know, or something like that, where you've got maybe my commuting, because, you know, I grew up in LA, is, you know, my commuting distance tolerance is like under an hour. That I feel like that's a deal, you know, like, oh, if I can get there in under an hour, that's great. Whatever it is, under an hour, I'm good, you know. So because everything in LA is about an hour, no matter what. Like it could be 3 miles, you're still sitting in traffic for an hour. So it's like,
oh my God.
You know,
and it's like 11 lanes.
It doesn't matter. It does not matter.
I just drove to LA like last year, right, to pick up my horse. And I'm like, and I didn't go downtown because it was on like the side skirts of LA. And I'm like, I'm driving on 11 lanes right now. What in the actual fuck?
How is there not enough space for you people? But I'm convinced that some of them are just paid to be there, like to discourage people to drive, you know, because I'm just like, no, it's not this crowded on a Sunday. Like, get the fuck out of here. Go home.
There's no reason.
You have no job. No. You're all fucking liars. All of you. Get the fuck off the road. You're not going anywhere. You're just going to make a U-turn and drive back.
You're like one of those sleeper cells on the road.
Right. You get activated by the fucking state when they want to discourage driving. It's like, it's ridiculous. I believe it.
You know what I wanted to discuss today? I forgot that I wanted to discuss it.
Oh, good. Go.
But I'm back now. Okay. So, you know how, like back in the day, you basically had 2 financial classes, old money, new money. People kind of still talk about it that way. That's not the case at all. So I would like for you to tell me your perspective. I'm going to just quickly share mine. So I think we have old money. Then we have old new money, which is like the post-industrial, but still like older money, like wants to be part of old money. Then you have new money. Then you have digital new money, which is completely different than the new money. Then you have practical money, which is like the people who have been savvy in some kind of way, but don't have the flashiness, don't have the lifestyle, might have like, you know, fucking thousands of acres. Right? Yeah. And then you have like the flashy money, I guess.
Yeah, like celebrity money.
Yeah, it's like I drive a Lambo. I like all the purses. Not the borrowed one. Not I rented a fucking. Like you do have a Lambo, like, but again, like there's a flashiness to it, right? Which could be from successful businesses, inherited, doesn't matter. But there's Paris Hilton, even though she does have a business savvy, but like she's new money, right? Like new flashy money.
Yeah, Paris Hilton, but like Ivanka Trump, Paris Hilton, those people, they came from money. Like they're also true, you know, and so did Donald Trump, right? But
not old money.
Not as old as like Rockefeller or Rothschild money, but like
right. So where do we put Walmart in? Like Sam, or if I'm missing any classes, like if you want to add any classes, by all means.
Like the family, the Walton family that runs Walmart, they would be today's old money. If they be
Really?
today's old money. Yeah, they would, because it's several generations. It's just about generational wealth, right? It's just about having that generational wealth where it's like you've passed it down now. And if you've passed it down and there's another, there's, I mean, unless you're like a Kennedy, that's legacy. That's legacy. But even then, like, he only starts back a little bit further back than, like, what's his name? The guy from Warren Buffett. Like, Warren Buffett was was mid-century wealthy, right? So were the Waltons. So was Donald Trump's family. They're all coming from mid-century. We're pushing 75 years since that wealth was created, right? Like, we're at about those families are 75 years of wealth. Like,
Oh shit! I hadn't even realized that. Yeah.
if at some point you got to call it old. I mean,
Well,
I don't know.
did you watch the show Gilded Age?
No.
I'm telling everyone to watch it. For one, because aesthetic, fucking gorgeous, but it's all about the railroad upcoming in the USA. So you had the old money,
what's called
right?
the robber barons, you mean? Like American
Right.
robber barons, yeah.
And then you had the new money from the guys who were building the railroad. So they just went up there and they wanted to be part of the old money really bad. So when I'm talking, so this is a great point you're making, by the way. So when we're talking about old money, we're not just talking about generational wealth. We're talking about the class they associate with, right?
Right. There is a difference. I mean, this is Great Gatsby stuff, right? Like, this is what, right? This is exactly out of the page out of the Great Gatsby, where you have people who have equivalent amounts of wealth, but the thing
Not
is,
the same.
but the culture's different. Like the Hampton, what side of the Hamptons you're from, whether, what side of Cape Cod you live on, like, it's, and it's, the nouveau riche, is kind of like that, like, slum class of rich, like,
and they're like looked down upon. And
are.
there's a show, I've only watched it right now, this reality show. I've only watched it because one of my old business coaches was in there, Real Housewife of Beverly Hills, and Amanda Francis in there, and she's new self-made, like, but she's in there number wise, right? So like the poorest lady of the Beverly Hills housewives, I don't know, is worth, I don't know, 30 mil, just abstract number. But she got it from her husband, and like, like, she didn't do it, her husband did, right?
Right.
And then Amanda Francis, self-made coach, is in the 30 mil up there. Completely different culture. Like, they're fighting constantly.
If you come up in old wealth, right? Like, if you're coming up from old wealth, there's a certain kind of behavior that they have. Like, I'm not saying they're better. I'm just saying that they come from, it'd be no different than looking at the pedigree of your horse. You're looking at lineage. You're looking at, is this a descendant of Secretariat, or is this like, you just happen to be a really strong horse, and it's just a fluke? Because that's the difference, right? It's like, there is a pedigree that people are looking at. That's what Kennedy is. Kennedy is a pedigree,
Right.
people.
Right.
Like, and I would say the Bush family is also a pedigree of people. There's a few
Hiltons.
Yeah, the Hiltons, right? So Hiltons are, and the guy is the mayor of Chicago, the governor of Illinois. I could see his fat ass, but I can't remember. But they own the Hyatt. They own Hyatt. Like, they run the Hyatt hotel. Pritzker. There you go. Yeah, the Pritzker family is also. But those are,
I haven't heard of those.
Yeah, they're all. But they own the Hyatt. That's their thing.
I see.
They own that sector of, and it's like, so the Waltons. But that's the thing, when you say the family name and people recognize it, that's old money. That's almost indicative of old money.
Right. That's a good point.
Right. Like, it's just something that flags it. Whereas, like, the Musks, not yet. Not yet.
Right.
Maybe.
Which, meanwhile, the Musks overrides every of the old money, not in numbers.
Right. Yes. Right. He's wealthier than they are, for sure.
Right.
But there's no the Bezoses.
Right.
There's no the Gates. Like, they would still be considered a sort of nouveau riche, because it's the first generation of wealth. It's the first generation of massive wealth. They are the first Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, and Bill Gates are the first generation to make it that big. So like they're not coming from their parent. Their parents were like, you know, a town physician and, you know, whatever. I guess Musk's dad came from money. I think like he was somewhat
but
wealthy.
like a little money comparatively.
Right. And I would, but you know, but the Trumps is starting to become a thing. So they're going to be, you know, it's a, you know, and the Bushes, the Bush family is because, and part of it has to do with what, like you were saying, like what you were involved with, right? Were you building enterprise, or were you, you know, what was the industry you oversaw? Was it a hotel empire? Oh, okay, you know, that's cool. Or was it, you know, a series of HVAC stores? You know, we're just like,
right, or like a software that like a lot of companies use, but no one really knows unless you're in that business.
right. So like, yeah. So Mark
And then
Zuckerberg is going to be new money, right?
right.
Yeah.
Well, and on top of that, with these like social classes, like let me get what's a very supernova rich? Give me a name.
Mark
Okay,
Zuckerberg.
Musk. It's
Okay,
but it's like he doesn't go to the country club with the old boys, right? Like that where the older money also had a. I feel like the social class that was determined by also old money is like they would also they had like social circles that they would display and dictate, right?
Yeah.
How like fashion would go, what was in or what was not. Whereas Musk is like again super rich, he couldn't care fucking less.
Right. Right. There's, I mean, it's about, I mean, you're in the old money circles, I would say, and I'm not particularly well versed on who they are and what they do, but
right.
I would say that there's also a certain that your wealth isn't just measured by your net worth, it's measured by who you know and your connections, right? Like, do you have influence? Because if you have power and influence, it doesn't matter that you have all that money. It matters that you have power and influence. Your wealth is measured by that. And so, you know, I know so-and-so who knows so-and-so who knows so-and-so, and it's still a type of lineage, right? The network becomes the lineage. So it's like, it's, I mean, and as opposed to new money, you have no real connections. You're plugged into some to get you to where you were. You plugged in somewhere, but you don't have the kind of influence and sway yet that
like outside of that, right?
Right, that gets you into, you know, secret societies. You're not there, and you won't be, because there's a way in which you comport yourself. There's a certain expectation of behavior. There's a certain culture to that group, and it's, I mean, and you're not it. You know, you're too eccentric. You know, so it's like, it's, you know, you can have a lot of money, and that's great, but so, you know, and what's crazy is to think about all the people who have a lot of money but really don't answer to themselves, right? Like, there are people like that who have like an immense amount of money, but they answer to someone to keep that, you know? And so who are you? You're a fucking peon, you know? You are absolutely new money because
you're like a little Muppet.
You can't sustain yourself. You've never really built yourself. You relied on somebody else to get you there, which means at any given point, you're on life support, basically. Your wealth is on life support, right? I mean, or you're going to go off the grid. Maybe you just call in, you cash in your chips, and you're like, fuck it, I'm going to move on to a ranch and get the hell out of it. There's people who do that, 100%. Like, there are people who do that. Like, I'm tired of the owners of this, this franchise telling me what to do all the time. Fuck it, I'm cashing my chips in, I'm out, you know? Yeah, and yes, they live a rich life. They're wealthy, they have money, they have material wealth, but they kind of assume their own autonomy again, right? Because they didn't have it. You know, I'd say like football players are like that. Musicians are very much like that. You know,
that's a great example.
So it's like, okay, you make money, but you have no influence. You have influence over the hoi polloi,
notes, by the way,
right? You have influence over the hoi polloi. You have influence over the poors, you know, and the unwashed masses, you know, but you don't actually have any control over you, and you certainly can't punch up. You're not going anywhere up there.
That's a good one,
right?
Oh my god, I really need you to watch Gilded Age, because for one, it's based on like real life characters, while the real life characters are more spread out, so they just like they all put them in like the same city, but it's like the real families who really built the railroads, who built the theaters, the operas, like it's based on real characters.
Oh, right.
Some of the characters are a little bit mixed, so you can tell that like Railroad Baron number 1 and 2, and they just put him in one.
Right.
Um, but it's so funny, like, so with the punching up that you just talked about, that's such a good point, because there's a bunch of railroad families that significantly make and have more money than the old money people that determine the culture, what's hot and what's not, who gets to be friends with who, right? And the nouveau rich wanted to be part of the old money so badly, right? So
Right.
they try to like get in there, make lavish donations and stuff, and they're still not being accepted.
Right.
Until I'm not gonna I don't want to spoil it again, even though it's based on reality, but they just wanted to be part of it so bad, because the old money would dictate upwise,
Mhm.
what's happening.
Right.
New money doesn't, like you
No.
said. So that's such a good way to say it.
Yeah, and I think that's a huge distinction, is that because old money is a culture, right? There
Yes.
it's
Old
more
money.
than just it's more than just net worth. There's a lot more to it than that. And part of it is that, it's like and it gets really disruptive in there, is that you have to be able to maintain the wealth. So like
Yes.
so like the younger generations, right, are brought up and bred essentially that they need that. I don't care what the fuck you do. You can get caught, we'll buy it and we'll pay off the whatever you get caught doing. You don't blow this money. You don't blow it. You grow it. And if you can't grow it, then you'll get cut off, because I need this to keep growing after I'm dead. I need to know that that's happening. And they are very selective on who they leave the different assets to, how they structure all of that in large part. And I'm not saying that Nouveau Riche doesn't do that. Of course they do. They put their shit in trusts and all that stuff.
Sure.
But they're very but the old money is sitting there saying, I don't trust you anymore to run my enterprise. I need somebody who I can trust to run the enterprise. I need somebody who can do this, and I'm going to put you there. And they start appointing, because it's bigger
You don't
than
get a choice as a kid.
no,
Like
right.
you
It's
have
already been
you do
decided.
this.
Think about royal family type level, right? Like that's
And that's the difference, by the way, because the old money came from royal families in Europe, and it moved into the United States. And then America doesn't have royalty, right? We
no,
don't have kings. So
no,
I'm saying we as America, like we kind of started from royalty became different. It usually was built in like corporate
right.
empires or
That's
other
right.
different. That became the royalty in America.
Right, exactly. You were building enterprise, and the king who lorded over that enterprise was essentially a king of unto himself. And these are different kingdoms, right?
Yeah.
The Hyatt kingdom, the Hilton kingdom, the Walmart kingdom. These are kingdoms that were built. Like these are, the Southern Pacific Railroad kingdom, right?
Oh shit, yeah. And it's funny because now, like here nearby, for example, we have the Sierra Pacific, like the timber company. It's one of the largest landowners in the U.S.
Right.
And they're at least 2 generations. They're going into the 3rd generation. In the Billies, so in the 3 Comma Club. And like even within those, so like they're known, right? And then they're like their competitor, not as much worth, but like even within there, you can see like the Sierra Pacific, like how everyone loves them, like the way they treat their land, the way they leave it behind, versus the competitor, everyone shits on them. They do the same stuff, but they have a different social conduct within the empire, the kingdom,
Right.
Whereas in the first one, everyone is still working, even the original owner, whereas the second one, like the competitor has been like flipped already 4 fucking times, and bought up by other corporations, so there's like no kingdom sensation to it.
Yeah And that's, there's a lot more trust getting built in the old money areas, and where it matters. The closer you get to the castle, the more there is this circle of trust, where it's like, and that's something that new money doesn't understand yet. Like that hasn't been passed down to them, right? Like they have to start that. So at some point, if they keep having kids and they raise their kids to be this way, then yes, several generations later, right, then you will eventually have created a generation of old money. but you will have started it. So like, it's not to say that you can't have several generations from now, Mark Zuckerberg, having,
Sure.
an being referred to as old money several generations from now, right? His great grandchildren might be considered old money at that point, if they can sustain the empire and keep it going.
And
So,
and grow maybe even, right?
right, and grow it or
Of
something.
some
Do
sort.
something, right? Take it
Yeah.
in some direction that keeps it relevant. Because
Hilton is a great name though, because Paris Hilton really expanded.
she did, and I think she's wildly underestimated.
Oh, yo, I'm a big fucking Paris Hilton fan. I'm gonna tell everyone you need to watch the documentary about her. She
Yeah.
doesn't really talk like
No,
that
she
at
doesn't.
all. It's
No,
a
I
great
know. Yeah.
persona. And then she puts her real voice in, and you're like, holy fucking shit. She's like
No,
a smart ass fucking bitch. I
she's
fucking
super
love her.
smart. No,
Super, super smart.
she did. She is. I mean, yes, she came from money, but she built her own stuff. She did her own thing. She did the singing thing, the acting thing. She built her own.
DJ,
Yeah, she made her own
makeup,
like,
clothing line.
makeup and clothing line. She's a mogul unto herself. She's a name unto
What?
herself. And
Mogul is such a good word.
she's, I mean, but she is a name that stands on her own, which is great. Like, she's Paris Hilton, and she, and that's it. Like, you say Paris Hilton, you're not still thinking hotels.
Right.
You're thinking,
right.
you're thinking, her and Nicole Richie going on vacation and having a good time, and the surreal life.
I swear, the best days of my life watching that shit.
Oh my God, it was a guilty pleasure. But yeah, for sure, it's like, but that was it. Like, I mean, but she did that, and
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
only respect for that. I mean, because she did it on she went out and did it on her own. She, she kind of made a persona for herself, and said, okay, I'm going to take what you gave me and I'm going to grow it, but I'm going to branch out on my own over here. I'm not running with the hotel thing. I'm going to have my makeup line, my perfume line, my clothing line, and all of that, and my music career and my acting career and all that other. I'm going to do all of it, triple threat. Okay. And then she went and did it. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, it's, but at some point, right, her parents are going to be looking for somebody to inherit that, and it can't just be the accountant. Like, it can't just be their trustee. It's got to be somebody in the family, right?
It's so funny that you say, because like her sister, I don't remember her sister's name even.
Oh, she's so low profile, and she's like
she lives like a homestead life. By the way, I just recently looked into it. She's a homestead life, stay-at-home mom. Obviously the stay at home, like when you have that much money, is a different stay at home, but like, good for them. So my two questions I have. For one, by the way, I've been accidentally a handful of times in my life in old money places, and it's uncomfortable as fuck. I do not belong there, and I respect that I don't belong there, right?
Yeah,
like,
no, they let you know.
It's and again, I respect it. Like, no hostility. Yes, I understand. And this is not from like me being submissive. It's just like, there's a time and place for everything. And that's not a place for me.
Yeah. Right.
Even though I come with look, I was with like an old money friend. No, I don't belong in places like that. Where do the Kardashians come into this?
Oh, they're new money.
New money, generational, but they are such an industry and a kingdom in and of itself, that all the daughters created their own kingdom, right? So you have like mom kingdom, where the babies were born into the kingdom. Then the kids created their own kingdom.
What did they do though?
So Kylie is the youngest billionaire girl, by the way, in the fucking world. Makeup was her main thing.
Okay.
That's how she grew up. Kim Kardashian, I think, just by virtue of being a celebrity, obviously she had like Spanx, and like she has clothing too. Like, it's not just by virtue of like, look at me.
Well,
they created product.
Right. She came up because of a sex tape. That's what got her on.
That's the whole Kardashian family, right? Because of her sex tape. It
was her. That was how they actually got. So they actually came into the spotlight because of that. Then they got a reality show, right? And they're married. And there's the whole like Bruce Jenner connection, who was an Olympiad. right?
Right.
And all
Right.
of
And
that.
then like
So
the O.J. Simpson, that was the original dad, right? O.J. Simpson's lawyer is
hmm,
original's
Kenneth Starr or no,
um
no.
I that was the husband of Kardashian mom. Kardashian mom, O.J. Simpson. I knew there's some kind of fucking connection.
Okay.
Oh, Kris Jenner, Kardashian mom, was close friends with O.J. Simpson and his wife. Okay, so yeah, so her ex-husband, Robert Kardashian, was OJ's defense team. I knew
Ah,
there
ha,
was,
ha, ha, ha. Okay, okay. So he was a famous lawyer. Okay,
yeah,
made famous
yeah, yeah,
by
yeah.
O.J. Simpson.
So that was
Okay.
the original. Then we had Bruce Jenner come in, right? So
Hmm.
we have the Kardashian, then Jenners, then sex tape, celebrity life, etc., etc.
I don't know it. They'll. I don't know that that's going to run in old money circles. I don't think that's gonna.
That's what
It's
I'm
not.
wondering. I
It's
don't
not.
think so either, because
Mm-mm.
it's
Too
kind of like
salacious. It's too
dirty a little
salacious.
bit too,
It
right?
is. It's too dirty. It is. It's too.
Yeah.
You can be a tech mogul and eventually get there, and as long as you behave, right, and as long as you do your thing and whatever. But I don't think somebody who gets into the spotlight by way of vis-a-vis a sex tape is is
Like
going
embraced. Oh, like,
right. And
hey,
then all of a sudden, yeah, okay, so I'm not, and then I had a reality show, and then I had, and
also
then
dirty.
also dirty, and like, and then and then it's which you, and then you had your makeup and your spanking and whatever.
Sure.
Okay, fine. I just don't know that.
It's like a hobby.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Nobody's going to
it's
take
like
you
dirty.
seriously. Nobody's going to
Yeah,
take you seriously. Nobody's going to take Kim Kardashian seriously.
like you have the money,
Yeah.
but that's it.
Yeah. They'll take
So when
Ye seriously before her, just because even though he's out in left field, he's still like they still take
so
him more
self,
seriously.
right,
In large part because he wrote his own music. Like he did
self-made,
something. Yeah, he is
mhm,
self-made,
like skills, self-made,
He has something. He's not going to be old money either, but like
right.
because he's still in the music industry and that's still a servant
So
class.
50 Cent, for example.
Yeah.
So 50 Cent came up as a rapper. Now is an absolutely fucking business beast.
Yeah. Bless him.
So is he gonna turn into old money? Even
He's
though he
gonna
has
have
like
to.
a dirty upbringing, right? Because it's a criminal upbringing.
He would have to do something else with his business. Like he would have to do something with that business that's remarkable. Because, like I said, there is a certain prestige that comes with what you did,
Prestige, that's it. Yeah.
right? So, like, it's great that you got money. Good for you, right? But from an old money perspective, anybody can go hustle and get money. They believe that, which is true. I mean, to be honest, for the most part, it's true. It's anybody's game to go get money and go chase that dollar. Like go ahead, and so for them that's a very low bar, right? So there has to be some other standard other than just that. So if 50 Cent can do it, he's going to have to rein in his kids. He's going to have to rein
Right.
in his
Does
kids.
he have kids?
Yeah, he has kids.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he has to, and he's going to have to get them. He's going to have to get them in line. Is the thing.
Are they not in line?
I don't think so. Not from what I remember reading. I could be wrong. Maybe they've since chilled out. I don't know. But
Okay. Let me see. I don't even know. And keep talking. I'm just Googling his kids just so because I have zero reference.
So he has 2 kids, born in 96 and 12. Born from 2 different moms, which is going to be hard to overcome.
Oh shit. Also unclean.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay. Let me see.
He's estranged from his older son.
Oh, right. Okay, so I'm getting it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Did I ever see them? No.
So I just don't think, and
Yeah.
and he took up with Chelsea Handler for a minute. So that's going to.
That's the blonde chick, right?
Yeah. And she's
Like the older chick, the older one, like the older woman. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, he's not. If he can get his younger son, right, to carry on his business and keep growing it, then yes, right?
Then yes. Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a hard one. It's a hard one status, and it takes
Mhm, mhm,
generations to
mhm.
get there. So, like, as far as I understand it,
Mhm,
it's
mhm,
so.
mhm.
That's the thing. Like, you could go through, and it's like at the end of the day, there aren't that many categories. There's really just, are you in this elite group or not?
But by virtue of like money is just the baseline denominator, and on top of that, it becomes culture and like background, I guess, or how you like conduct yourself, right?
Yeah, connection.
Therefore, Kardashians will never be old money
Right.
because by virtue of numbers, perhaps, but by virtue of their dirtiness, by
Yeah.
right, they
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
Right.
They're
So where would like so Elon Musk is a great example on that because he has like how many kids now with how many different baby mamas?
11 or 12 kids or something with like
Right, by
11 or
different
12 women. I don't
right.
know.
So where does that come in?
I don't know what happens with that. It depends on what he can actually pull off with those kids and which
Mm,
kid runs with it. Like,
right.
because if he
Mhm.
can get another him out of it, right?
Mm.
Which is it's almost him playing a numbers game, right? He's
It's like
like,
stacking the odds.
right, I'm going to go have kids with these 13 women. I'll bring them up, whatever. But now I need to know which one of you is going to be the one that ultimately can keep running with this baton, you know?
Right.
That's
Yeah.
what he should be evaluating his kids this way. He absolutely should.
Because kingdom.
Yeah. I mean, and that empire, that type of like
Yeah.
large thing, like he would have to do that. I mean, it's, and if you were thinking like, if, even from, and I would say this even to like the working class, middle class people trying to come up, right? And
Mhm.
I'm not saying this as an uber wealthy person. I will say that if you're not if you want intergenerational wealth, then you start evaluating your kids, like who's the one that's actually going to run it. You
Asset and
should be,
liability,
you
baby.
absolutely should be looking at them that way. I mean, and that's normal, by the way. Like, that's an old school evaluation. That is not new. That is an old way of looking at things, right? Like Cain and
Like who's
Abel,
gonna
Esau
take
and
care of
Jacob.
me?
Right. These are old biblical ways. Like, that's how far
Yeah.
back the shit goes. Like, who's
Yeah.
going to take care of me? Who's going to take care of this?
Mhm.
This,
Mhm.
So, like,
Mhm.
who is that? And it's like, and you should be looking at your kids that way, right? Who's the one that's going to build on what I've provided, and then distribute your assets accordingly. Like, my dad and his dad were both fools because they were too emotional about it. So my dad, whatever
I see.
yeah, they were dumb. My dad's dad cut my dad out of the will, right?
Oh,
And
no.
gave everything to the youngest son, who squandered it within a matter of a couple of years. So everything
Oopsie.
that his dad, yeah, built because he didn't like my dad. Okay,
I
fine.
see.
Well, my dad cut me out of his will, right? And
I didn't know that.
gave it to my two sisters, who will ultimately squander their shit. And I mean, they're not living in the poorhouse, but my older sister is like historically irresponsible. My younger sister is historically
Historical.
irresponsible. They're not the most responsible people of the
Right.
three of us. I'm the most financially savvy and the most financially responsible. And it's just like, okay, you gave your house to, you gave your house to the youngest one. You gave all your, you gave a bunch of money and, jewelry over to the oldest one. You gave the oldest one. Okay, my dad collected a bunch of lithographs that are fairly, you know, they're worth a lot. He collected a lot of, like Salvador Dali and stuff like that. He had a lot of art that he had collected over the years. He was kind of side hustling as an art trader. So
Mhm,
he
mhm.
had a stash of this stuff, right? I told him before he died, I said, if you give it to me, I'd sooner live under a bridge than sell it. I'll never sell it. I will put my life on that. I'll never sell it. No matter
Mhm,
what. It stays in the
mhm,
family, and it never leaves.
mhm.
And it never goes to somebody who isn't a descendant of Mike Diamond, full stop.
Right.
I said,
Right.
that's my promise. I said, you worked too hard to build that. I said, and it's about legacy. You did that. That is a mark of you. That is work you did. That is evaluations you made. It was a reflection of your taste, your values, and everything. It's a big deal. These are massive pieces that are worth a lot, and you
Mhm.
should, and you shouldn't. This is something that we should keep in the family. right? And that's what I told him. I said, so whatever you give me will never get sold. And he says, well, I have to be fair to the kids. I have to be fair to the other girls. And I was like, okay, think
Good
fair.
luck.
Yeah, if you're more worried about being fair than you are about whether or not your art continues on.
Preservation.
Yeah, I'm preserving this, then by all means keep doing that. I said, because Lisa will sell it tomorrow. She will sell it the moment you give it to her. Mm-hmm. She's already looking for buyers. Like, right. That's how she is. There was a piece, and this is just to explain like where the mindset is, right? This is the whole point, was to explain like that, the difference in mindset. My dad has a seminal piece called the Kabuki, and it was done on Japon paper. There's only like 100 of them in the world. It's like this whole thing. It's beautiful, right? I've always liked the piece. Like as a kid, I always liked the piece, and my dad never took it down. It was the one that always stayed up. And I said, just give me that one. And the rest, everybody else, I don't care. But that one, you got to give that to me. And he's like, and this was before anything was ever written about it or anything. That was just something that I wanted. And so when my dad first got diagnosed with cancer, that was the one I put in for him. My dad's like, no, nobody else likes it. I'll give it to you. Right? Okay, fine. My older sister found an article about it and found out that it can fetch up to $500,000. And immediately got on the phone with my dad and said, you need to sell it and split it between the 3 girls, because that's not fair that you would give it to Kelly. And I said, this is not a good idea. This is not a good idea. You don't sell stuff like that. You keep stuff like that. It is an asset. It is an asset. It never goes to zero. Stuff like that never goes to zero. Right. It's authenticated and everything. I have the provenance for it. I said, you don't do that. I said, give her the money, the car, she gave him the Mercedes, give her everything. I said, but the art, she doesn't know what to do with it. She's just going to hawk it. And it's like, and so he ended up not making a decision because he was at odds with me, right? We were estranged towards the end because we were at odds. And he ended up just saying, fine, I'm going to leave it up to my mom to decide who gets what.
Oof.
So he left it to her. And my mom is even worse than my dad because she has no sense of wealth or legacy or anything. Like, she doesn't have that in her. Like, it's just not her personality and not her upbringing. So what she ended up doing was she gave me the Kabuki because she knew I liked it. So this is the standard by which we're evaluating who gets what assets, right? Think about that. My mom is an insurance agent. My dad is a teacher. This is how the middle class evaluate who gets what in the family.
By liking.
By who likes what and what would make everybody feel good about it and what is fair. That's exactly how my ex-husband's family is evaluating right now who gets what between the 2 brothers, the 2 boys. And that's probably how my ex-husband is going to evaluate stuff when he's passing down to our kids. He's going to look at it that way. And there's no reason to do that. There's no reason to do that. You shouldn't be doing, I don't look at my kids that way. And now, granted, I'm not building this massive empire, whatever, but I know I have certain things that it's like, this stays in the family. So like, it doesn't matter. Like, if I die and it goes to my daughter and they get a divorce, let's say she gets divorced, the ex-husband can't petition for it.
Right.
It's locked in a trust. You can't take it. It's not yours. Right. So too bad. So sad. Just
like a little side note, by the way, on that line. So me and my husband were months ago, like before we officially were like engaged, we were talking about I'm blank. I'm so fucking tired. The paper when you get married about the assets and money. No, like if you would divorce, like who gets what? What do you call
it? The decree? The divorce decree?
No, shit, what's the word? And everyone's always like upset about it when you bring it up, like, hey, my husband and I have a
prenuptial agreement.
Thank you, prenup. Thank you. I was so blanking on that. I'm like, and I was discussing, like, for one, I want a prenup. Not necessarily because I think you're going to come for me, but because there are several things in the family they do not belong to you under any circumstances, like our real estate back in Czech Republic, right? That's doesn't belong to you, barely belongs to me. right? So if anything would happen, you have no saying in that, and vice versa, by the way, because he has several stuff like right what I should never have a saying in that.
Right.
So anyway, yeah. So that just that
But it
reminded
makes
me of that.
sense, right? You should be evaluating your assets in that way.
Mhm.
Like that's how it should be. And so it's but the thing is it's almost understood and like inscribed in the brains of old money that's what's happening. So like people look at it and it's portrayed really weird in movies, you know, it's like cold-hearted asshole type, you know, and it's just like, no, it's not that. There's more to it than that. There's a certain kind of, you know, they're thinking the reason why they're as wealthy as they are and they've made what they've made and managed to not only maintain it but grow it, right?
Right.
Is the fact that they aren't so short-sighted and they're not and they're not so myopic that they're governed by some sort of subjective evaluation of a situation like what they like or what's fair. They're not looking at that. They don't give a fuck. That's not even part of like
part of a
calculus.
dynasty.
Right. That's not part of their calculus. They're not weighting anything against that. Right. Like, whereas that
it has no merit, right? Like fairness or like liking.
Right. It doesn't. It doesn't do anything. And so that's a very middle class and lower class mentality, is to think about fairness and what people like versus what is practical, right? What is practical and what is the right thing to do and what would actually benefit this, you know, to be more dispassionate. There is none of that. You know, you don't see as much of that in the middle class as you do in the upper class. As you start to get into old money, especially, you don't even see that much in new money, though. New money, same thing. That's the problem, is that they still have that middle class mentality.
Right. And that has to be almost like bred out of them, unless it's
they work like middle class people, though. They'll work and they'll do the work. It's not that they don't have a work ethic. It's not that they don't. I mean, middle class people have work ethics, you know, and it's that they still evaluate things in terms of fairness and in terms of what you like, and these subjective terms that don't mean anything.
Right. Know? So they don't have the empire or kingdom mentality, which is a completely different approach energetically.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you give me, by the way, a hand list? I'm typing as you're saying, like of American old money. So we have what is it? The Waltons, you said? Those are the Walmart people?
I would say that they fit. So, you know, Rockefeller.
Money. Oh shit. Yeah. America families. I'm gonna just, because I'm like, who's the DuPont?
Yeah.
DuPont.
Yeah, DuPont.
Who are those?
I forget what they did. They did something.
I'm just opening it as we speak because I have no idea. So these are considered the oldest, richest family.
Yeah. The Vanderbilts.
Oh, Vanderbilt. Yeah. So Vanderbilt is railroad, right?
Yes, I believe so. Andrew Carnegie, right? So the Carnegies.
Rockefeller, Mellon.
Carnegie.
Chevron.
Yeah. And then J.P. Morgan. I would say
I forgot about
John
those.
Paul Getty is another one.
What did they do?
I'd have to look up what they did, but these were
the DuPont is chemical, by the way, chemicals.
Okay.
I know.
Okay. So J.T. Rockefeller is oil, right? Carnegie is steel. Vanderbilt is railroads and shipping.
Railroad.
J.P. Morgan is obviously banking and finance.
Right.
The Rothschilds, but they're English, but they're still old money.
So the Rothschilds are interesting because it comes from an English royalty or like a different subclass.
Yeah.
Okay, Hilton's, yes. Warren Buffett.
Warren Buffett, yeah.
Oh yeah, so his father, congressman. He's still considered. They still consider him new money.
He's newish. Yeah, he's pretty new.
Super new money. Jeff Bezos, obviously. Elon Musk. Yeah, blah blah.
Right.
And Waltons, they're calling it in transition from new to old money. Kennedy's old money.
For sure.
So you had all those. Yeah.
But Warren Buffett is like Berkshire Hathaway. So like he built a massive empire.
Yeah.
Under that. So he might I don't know what
This is so fun.
Yeah, he's manufacturing, but
Okay.
so like Dick Cheney would also be because of his connection to Halliburton.
Okay.
I think he's considered so.
This is so important to know. People, everyone needs to watch Gilded Age.
Yeah,
Learn about old families.
yeah. But look at how they move. Like what, like study how they move, study how they behave. It's interesting because like I don't know if you've ever listened to Dave Ramsey. He's not much. He's
He's the chef. No, the financial guy.
financial guy, right? Not
Yeah,
Gordon.
yeah, yeah.
Dave.
No, see, I was Gordon. I'm like, wait, there's a Ramsey. There's a Ramsey in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dave Ramsey, his main thing is getting people out of debt, right? So he's trying to pull people out of the red and just get them into the black. But
He's the very don't do any Starbucks.
right,
That's
he's
like
very
what
much
kind of
no
made him.
avocado toast, right? And he's just basically saying you need to live under your means to pay off your debt, teaching them how to do it, which is fine. Okay,
Yeah.
But what he talks about is how millionaires actually live and billionaires live. Like how do they? There's the people with the gaudy stuff, but your average millionaire does not actually have a whole lot of gaudy stuff. You would not recognize them as millionaires on the street. They actually don't flash all that much.
There's no flashiness.
They lack that. They tend to just go about their business. They're in jeans and a and a vest and and they're out there getting the cap on. They're not trying to
They don't look like they don't have like the Gucci and like all the flashy brands. They're just like in a jeans and like always the same shirt or something.
That's right. And he says, as opposed to the person who is, who's like maybe lower class economically, and they're buying the Air Jordans and they're buying the, all the, and the Versace this and the Louis Vuitton purse and all of that and getting all that stuff. And it's just like, that alone is a huge contrast. I remember I went to school in East Los Angeles and, like I said, my dad was a teacher. My mom was an insurance agent, right? Very middle class. But I went to school in East Los Angeles where it's predominantly poor people that live there. And they, and you see people with, who are talking about going to a Morrissey concert, and going to see, going to a, Red Hot Chili Peppers concert and going to Lollapalooza and all these concerts. And then they come back, they have the t-shirt, they got a brand new pair of Doc Martens, which is like, $200. And it's just
expensive.
Like, and I'm like, you live in the fucking projects, bro. What are you doing? Yeah. Like, what are you fucking doing? I'm sitting here with my like generic everything, right? I go out with my friends. You can take the bike, you can take your bicycle and go. And then here's $5 for lunch. Like, figure it out, right? It's like, okay. I mean, I was not doing any of that flashy stuff, but that's the difference, right? It's like, how important is it for you? I would say old money doesn't need other people to recognize them. It needs certain people to recognize them, right?
Ooh,
right.
Nice one.
I don't have to know you because who am I? It doesn't fucking matter. But people who matter know who you are, and that's important, and that's all that matters.
That's a good
right?
one. I like that one.
Whereas new money, do you even know who the fuck I am? Like, I'm so and so, and it's just like nobody gives a shit. And you know what? Old money would never do that, right?
That's
old
like
money is just like
disgusting behavior.
Right. I'm not dealing with you plebes. I have an assistant who goes and deals with people for me.
My assistant deals with you guys.
Not even my assistant touches this shit. Her assistant is going to get the coffee because she's too busy doing actual important work.
Right. Assisting me.
Right. Assisting me. Mm-hmm. So like, I need her to have an assistant who just goes and fetches coffee and deals with the peoples, and the so unwashed real. Masses. Right. Exactly. So, I mean, think about that, right? It's like the difference of how much attention do you need? Not much. I only need attention from like a handful of people in my circle. I don't need, I want attention from, congressmen and politicians. I want attention from other people like me, but I don't care whether, Beyonce likes me or not. Like, I don't give a shit who she is. Like they can blow that shit off. That's the incredible part is they're above them. Right. And so they're sitting there saying, man, I don't get, Beyonce's going to be here. Who's that? Beyond what? Who's that? I'm too busy building shit over here, right? Like I don't care. Taylor Swift.
So fucking real.
Yeah, and it's like okay, but Beyonce and Taylor Swift are bought. They're not necessary. I mean, they're just really high end hookers. So it's just like
Word.
doing the dance, and it's like, okay, I mean, that's cool. You got a lot of money, and you can pull a lot with, and you can always pull from the bottom, but you can't pull from the top, you know?
So
So,
fucking real.
and
Yeah.
so that's the thing is it's like, whereas like somebody from that kind of old money can pull from the top
Yeah.
and make shit
All around.
happen. And next thing
Yeah.
you know, they're going to talk to somebody totally different, they're going to talk to somebody totally unrelated, you think, and they're going to get Beyonce to dance like a fucking pony.
100%.
Right?
100%.
I don't have to
Right.
talk to Beyonce. I'm going to go
Right.
talk to so and so. And they know what I mean. And next thing you know, Beyonce's like,
Oh my God. We need to cut this out and like make it an own reel. So fucking true. Yes. This is
that's
so
the thing.
good.
She doesn't know where it's coming from. She just hears that she has to do it and then she goes and does it.
So
But
monkey dance.
for real. And they'll humiliate you
Oh,
for no reason in front of everybody and they'll fucking do it. That's how you know, right? It's
that's
like
so fucking good.
at any given time, I can totally fucking drag you if I wanted to, and you'll do it. And it's true. So that's how you know they're new money. Like, it's like, I mean, Mark Zuckerberg, right? What the fuck were you doing kowtowing to the FBI during COVID? Like, you're not your own man yet.
You fucking new money.
Yeah, new money. You're new money.
What the baby new money?
Yeah, you're cute, but you
Don't
got
have
your
an actual
island.
footing in the world.
No, you don't. And that's it. I mean, that's just it. Like, there's a certain kind of power that you wield that doesn't exist with new money. And celebrities are absolute new money. Even if you came from a legacy of, descended from a legacy of other actors, you still are new money. You're never going to be treated as old money. Like Drew Barrymore comes from a lineage of actors and in the industry dating back to, I think, vaudeville or something. Like she's, and yet
Doesn't matter.
I mean, she can get gigs all day long, but she'll never be old money. And, it'll just never be that. So it's just, I think that's the culture. But it's
I love
obvious.
it. We solved it again, though.
Yes, we solved the money.
Everybody, go watch Gilded Age. I think it's on Netflix, and the new season is coming out the end of this year. Like, it took a whole last fucking year for them, and I'm like, or maybe 2027 even, like a 2 year. Something ridiculous. It's a really fucking good show, mostly because it's based on real people, real history, and real clashes. But it does such a good depiction of it. I love that we solve everything always.
Yeah, I know. It's good. It's good.
Everyone, rich and hydrated. Diamonds and Demons edition will be back next week.